Hello everybody and welcome back to another Mandalorian review. Today is the review of the season finale. And I just want to say, it's impossible to talk about this episode without spoilers, so from here on out, we will be diving into spoilers. So the final episode of The Mandalorian was called The Rescue, and we pick up with the Slave One attacking a Lambda-class shuttle, which is also carrying Dr. Pershing. It's a really solid intro to smack us in the face, gearing us up for action. And after all, we know that we are heading to Moff Gideon's light cruiser. When Team Mandalorian ends up boarding the shuttle, there's a bit of back and forth regarding Pershing being a top-tier target for the New Republic, and Cara Dune shouldn't kill him, etc. And Pershing himself is being held at gunpoint by this Imperial pilot. I found this brief section pretty interesting because we dive into a bit more of that moral gray zone between Imperials and Rebels. The Imperials know that Cara is from Alderaan because of the tear on her cheek and tries to get under her skin, but in reality, this Imperial man is also very affected by the destruction of both Death Stars, looking at the rebellion like a group of terrorists. We've heard a lot of these things before, but it's cool. And either way, Cara shoots this guy right in his face, releasing Pershing, so that way they can start getting information on the light cruiser's layout. So we transition to Din and Boba now touching down on a planet that seems to be some vague industrial planet. And they both head into this cantina where Bo-Katan and Koska Reeves are having a drink. Din is hoping for their help, but at first Bo-Katan is hesitant to help, especially after she heard that Moff Gideon has the child. She states that they will never find him, but that's clearly not the case since Din has his coordinates. Now, there is a small fight that occurs between Boba and the Night Owls over if he is Mandalorian or not, and for me it seemed a bit random, but again, it's playing further into the theme of what it means to be a Mandalorian. So Din convinces Bo-Katan to help because he has the information regarding Gideon's whereabouts, as well as saying that this will help with their efforts to regain Mandalore. And she also wants the light cruiser if she does help. So fair trade, right? And we get mention of this ancient weapon that Gideon stole from Bo-Katan, aka the Dark Saber, and if she attains the Dark Saber, then Mandalore will finally be within her reach. Din is only focused on the child, so as far as he is concerned, Bo-Katan can have whatever she wants. Now, back in the Slave One, the team and Pershing are going over the schematics of Gideon's light cruiser and how best to infiltrate it. Pershing alerts them to the new phase of Dark Troopers that they have on Gideon's cruiser as well, which down the line will be part of one of the most glorious scenes in Star Wars period. Now, to make a fun battle brief, the Slave One pretends to be attacking the Lambda shuttle, housing Team Mando, so that they can crash into a landing bay. However, there are some TIE fighters deployed, and it's all fun and very classic Star Warsy, but they all die in typical Imperial fashion. Adding to this, once Bo-Katan and her team exit the cruiser, they lay waste to basically every stormtrooper on the vessel, and while this is happening, the Mandalorian stays back so that he has a clear path to the child who is held in the brig. So here, Moff Gideon commands that the Dark Troopers be mobilized, and then we cut to them. It's menacing. The red eyes and dramatic robotic synth music made them feel like pure evil. But we do know, as Pershing told the Mandalorian, that they have a few minutes to achieve their goal before the Dark Troopers are fully charged and deployed. As the Mandalorian makes his way down the corridors of the light cruiser, he does notice that the Dark Troopers are mobilized and they're about to leave their cell, and he almost gets the blast doors shut in time, trapping them in. However, one of them escapes, almost taking down the Mandalorian. The fact that the Dark Trooper was punching Din's helmet as hard as it could without breaking him is wild. Beskar is basically unstoppable, and Din is tossed around like a ragdoll. But in one quick moment, he grabs the Beskar spear and plunges it through the neck of the Dark Trooper, disabling it, and throwing the rest out the airlock. Pretty awesome. Now, Din finds the brig, and then he finds Grogu, but Moff Gideon is already there, Dark Saber ignited over Grogu's head. Din decides to lay down his weapons for the kid, while Moff Gideon explains the history and importance of the Dark Saber. Whoever wields it has the power over Mandalore, but as we all know, Din doesn't really care about any of this. He only cares about saving Grogu. Gideon also tells Din he already has what he needs. He has Grogu's blood. And he goes on saying that he has what he needs in order to bring back order to the galaxy. So, yeah. I concede. If that's not a confirmation that all of these experiments are leading to Snoke or Palpatine, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but we keep hearing the word order. It's emphasized over and over, leading me to think about the First Order, so it can't be coincidental anymore. Gideon also lies about going their separate way, and then Gideon engages the Mandalorian with the Dark Saber. This was really cool to watch. However, now that the Mandalorian has that Beskar spear, he makes pretty quick business of Moff Gideon. He doesn't kill him, and while the Moff did have skill for sure, he is no match for Din Djarin in my opinion. Gideon also reflects on the fact that Din is sparing his life, which raises some questions regarding how Gideon could even sense this or know it, and perhaps it just means nothing at all. So Din, holding the united Dark Saber, walks Moff Gideon into the bridge of the light cruiser where Bo-Katan and everyone else is waiting. And Din offers the saber to Bo-Katan, but she refuses. And Gideon smiles, revealing that there has to be a fight, an honorable fight in order to win the Dark Saber. However, neither Din and Bo-Katan seem to want to fight whatsoever. And to be honest, I thought in Rebels you could just hand over the saber if you felt unworthy of wielding it, but maybe I missed something, maybe this is new canon, maybe, I don't know. Been a few years since I've seen that show. From here, they get an alert that the Dark Troopers are actually en route back to the light cruiser, and with that many Dark Troopers on the way, there's no way Din and everyone else will stand a chance. But right here, this is where the episode blew me away, and I'll admit that I did not want this to happen until I experienced it. A lone X-Wing drops into the hangar bay. This individual is wearing a hood. I'm going, oh my god, is this Luke? And then we see the lightsaber taking out Dark Troopers. It is Luke Skywalker who heard Grogu's call on Tython. And just like Vader in the hallway, we get Luke in the light cruiser, laying waste to droids in a fashion that I've never seen. It's unreal. It was amazing to see the green saber back in action during Luke's glory days. And P.S. this wasn't some reaction to Luke in the sequels, you dummy. We already know that this is his prime time of his life. Now, everyone else is hesitant to open the door for this Jedi, but Din knows it's the right thing to do, plus this Jedi just saved their asses. I'll admit, Luke looks a bit goofy due to the deep fake mocap face thing that's going on, but to be frank, I don't care. It's a brief glimpse at the man we love in his prime, and that's amazing. I also thought it was interesting that Luke ends up telling Din that Grogu wants permission to go with Luke. And Din tells Grogu that he will see him again, taking off his helmet and letting Grogu touch his face for the first time. What a powerful emotional moment. And as Din places down Grogu to begin this new chapter of his life with Master Luke Skywalker, R2 shows up and has a little conversation with Grogu, which is really cute. Then Grogu, Luke, and R2 depart while Din stares on, teary-eyed, that his little green boy is heading off. So beyond this, we get an after-credits scene which debuts a new series, The Book of Boba Fett, and I thought it was a bit pointless that this was tacked on at the end of this episode. It takes away from what just occurred and us thinking about the emotional outfall and the resonance of this episode. We need to think about the implications of this finale, but now we're just focused on Boba Fett and his show. With that said, I loved seeing Fat Bib Fortuna, and it was great seeing Jabba's palace again after all this time, but that's really about it for me. So yeah, this was one of the coolest episodes of The Mandalorian. It's definitely not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. Top 5 of this season, or I guess top 4, since there's only 8 episodes. But wow, seeing Luke Skywalker the way that he was in this episode was refreshing. I can't believe it. And one of my favorite scenes from The Rise of Skywalker is the flashback scene to Luke and Leia training. And yeah, I think they basically nailed it in this episode. Now, if you're going to be one of those people that is going to be comparing and contrasting the sequels to this and blah, 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 honestly, grow up, just enjoy the goddamn entertainment that you've been given, and just be a Star Wars fan. Just enjoy it. So that's pretty much all I got to say about this episode. What a great season finale. And I can't wait to talk about Luke Skywalker this weekend if I can get around to making a video. It is the holidays, so it's a little tough to get videos out right now. Also, tomorrow I will be dropping the very long video, 1 year later with The Rise of Skywalker. Mostly a video full of my criticism, but there are positives at the end. So as always, thanks for sticking around. May the Force be with you. AT-AT is signing off.